Can I negotiate CAM charges?
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit earlier, and there's certainly other questions that go with commercial leases, but CAMs it comes up so often. You can certainly negotiate, and you should if you're a tenant moving in. But it's just some other things while on the topic, since we've kind of covered CAMs, is think about the lease duration, think about your options. Usually your leasing agent wants to, if you're the owner, the leasing agent's going to try to get you a longer term. Why is that? Well, more commission. But it's a risk to the landlord. Market conditions change, and then if you don't have a high quality tenant, you might mistakenly believe, oh look, I got a 10-year lease at these great rates. Well, if the tenant moves out in 2 years, how good is that lease? And you just paid a 10-year commission on it. And then you could say, okay, well, I'm going to get my attorney and I'm going to take this tenant to court on unlawful detainer. I'm going to sue, or sue for breach of lease and get all 8 years. And you say, well, yeah, but that's only if the tenant can not go bankrupt. And more often than not, that sort of tenant will probably go bankrupt, and you'll never see a dollar of recovery. So lease negotiations are really important on both the tenant and the landlord side, because for the tenant, you don't want to open your business then go bankrupt 3, 4, 5 years later. That's not part of the plan, probably. But a lease obligation is a serious obligation. A commercial lease obligation is a serious obligation, and we've seen it in the last 7 years. Of course, there was the Great Recession in 08, 09, and 10, but we've seen a handful of tenants go from having a viable or apparently viable business to ending up bankrupt because their business model didn't survive the recession, and they couldn't pay for the balance of the lease without the business.